This is the newly refreshed VW T-Cross, and in today's video we're going to run through all the updates. Big thanks to Lannie Motors, which is the local VW dealership out here in Zanin. I've left their details down in the description below. If you're interested in any VW model, do check them out. Let's get into the video. Now, as usual, let's start with the exterior, the facelifted T-Cross. Now, the update on the front is you now have IQ lights, which this car is spec'd with. And inside there, on one of the units, it says IQ light. It gets the full width daytime running light. There is the new style R badge on the R-line model. There is a restyled front bumper, especially here on the fog light area, chrome touches. And this bit used to be chrome as well. It's now satin silver. And the overall styling on the front bumper is a bit different to help with the refresh. Now this one actually looks absolutely beautiful in this King's Red metallic. If you come around to the side, they've introduced some new alloy wheels, but this design has been available on the previous one as well, but it's still a beautiful alloy. Diamond cut rim, two-tone, gloss black and silver. The R badge has been moved from the front fender to the door, which they're doing on pretty much all the other models. If we come more to the side profile is exactly the same. The body lines, the creases and all, that's all the same. But at the rear, there is my favorite update on the exterior, and that is the tail light. Now on the previous model, it looked like it had a light bar, but the middle bit didn't actually light up. Now the whole thing lights up and it is so cool. Also like this kind of X-shaped design they have going on there. I think that looks absolutely nice. T-Cross model designation, some restyled rear bumper with this diamond effect down there. And yeah, that's pretty much all the updates with the exterior. Let's check out the interior. So the interior on the facelifted T-Cross. So inside here there are some fair good changes, but they're also somewhat minor. Now the seats have a new trimming. They have an R logo on the backrest. This design and pattern is all new and different. It's covered in cloth, Alcantara and leather, so all three materials. There is also some new trimmings to the dashboard. It is covered in leather, the front fascia that is. It also extends somewhat to the driver zone as well, whereas previously it used to be covered in this shiny bit, so the whole dash and all. There is a new padding on the armrest, which is also in leather. The infotainment screen design is all new, looks more tablet like, whereas previously it used to be inbuilt into the dashboard and it's set somewhat flush, I'd say. But yeah, it feels like a fairly good update, although I wish the quality on the top of the door card was updated because it's still hard plastic. But yeah, some bits that you interact with are nice and soft. The new leather that we spoke about, yeah, still feels like a very nice place. Steering wheel is the new design VW steering wheel, flat bottom. It has the R badge at the bottom spoke when you have the R line, that is. And yeah, the instrument cluster is the same that you found in the previous model. The menus are still exactly the same. You can cycle through different views. That is not necessarily customizable. And yeah, you can choose between different views. You can change to different menus, that sort of jazz. So what I've noticed about the infotainment screen is the usability is exactly the same. So the menus, the backgrounds and all that jazz, so it's all pretty much the same. What's different is just the design and look of it. So down here you have two USB-C ports, you have a wireless charging pad, and there's also the touch sensitive climate controls. Although I've also noticed you can control them using the infotainment screen, so you're spoiled for choice. I guess. Now, quality in here is relatively good. Practicality is great, actually. So the door pockets are nice and big and they can fit a very large bottle. There's the central armrest where you also find a central cubby, which is fairly deep. The glove box is also nice and big, but the issue is it's not lined with felt or some sort of soft materials. So if you put keys or something like that, yeah, it'll rattle. That's the only issue with this. But overall, this is a nice place to be. Feels very premium, high quality, as always, like we're used to with most VW models. So, like on the pre-facelift, you still can't get a sunroof, but I guess such is life. Now, because this car is just a facelift, the size of it is still exactly the same. But this car is very practical, as you can see. Look at all this room I have back here, and also headroom. It's just plentiful. So yeah, there's plenty of room to stretch around, to move around, even though the central tunnel is a bit big. But back here, we have two USB-C ports. There is this cubby, which I don't know what you'd use for. Seems redundant to me. You don't get a central armrest. There's also no through loading, which is a shame because this is somewhat of an SUV, compact SUV rather. But practicality is amazing. So, the boot, you're looking at 385 liters in boot capacity. You have this adjustable floor. It will be finicky to do with one hand. Okay, I've adjusted the floor off camera, as you can see. So you can raise and lower it. There is an underfloor with plenty of room. There is also a subwoofer housed into the spare wheel because this one has the Beats sound system. There's plenty of tie down points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, nice shaped boot, squared off, zero loading lip, which should make it easy to slide things in and out. And yeah, that is your boot. Now, in terms of trims and pricing, there is 3 available trims. The base trim is actually the Life, and the mid trim is the Style, and the top of the range trim is this one, which is the Inline. And on screen right now, I'll have all the different pricing, well, the starting pricing for every trim. Now, in terms of the finance costs, I've actually spec'd up my own VW T-Cross Inline, and the price went up to 580,000 rands. Now at that price, you're looking at a monthly repayment of 11,700 rand at 13% interest rate over a payment term of 72 months. In terms of insurance, I've logged my details on hippo.co.za and I've gotten back 11 different quotes. And the lowest I could find is actually 1,700 rands. Now do check out hippo.co.za where you can get up to 12 different comparative codes. Now I've left a link down in the description below. Do click it, it will take you straight to the hippo.co.za website. I've also pinned a comment down in the comment section. That is hippo.co.za. Now, in terms of engine, the T-Cross is powered by the 1-liter turbo 3-cylinder with 85 kilowatts and 200 Newton meters of torque. You can only get this car with the 7-speed DSG transmission, which is quite weird because with the pre-facelift, you were actually spoiled for choice. There were 2 gearbox options, the DSG and the 5-speed manual, and there were 3 engine options. Now, 2 engines were actually the 1-liter turbo 3-cylinder, but the lowest power rating was about 70 kilowatts and around 170 Newton meters. And then there was this with the 85 kilowatts, and then there was also the 1.5 liter with around 110 kilowatts. Now, maybe they'll introduce more engine choices as time goes. I guess we'll see. So guys, you join me inside the facelifted VW T-Cross, and right off the bat, the thing I like is the raised ride height, because you can just navigate through some sketchy terrain, awkward driveways, that sort of jazz, especially when you look at the Polo as well, because the Polo is lower, slightly smaller. See, this is it's just more attractive. And also when you're driving in here, the sitting position, you have an amazing view outside. You can sit very high, and yeah, you do get that SUV experience to an extent. And also the other thing that I noticed is the previous review we just did is the Tiguan, the new Tiguan, and the suspension in here feels less firm and a bit more plush. I guess it's because this is riding on smaller tires and smaller rims, so that's the benefit you get. Whereas with the Tiguan, it's very wide tires, it's big 19-inch rims. That actually reflects in the quality of the ride. So in here, you can tell it still has relatively stiff suspension because it's the R-Line, but slightly better than even on the Tiguan. And yeah, I feel like the whole compact size of this thing is just so nice, because it's still easy to get into tight spaces, it's easy to park, you know, all that jazz. And this engine, it's fine. I mean, we've spoken about it so many times, especially when we were doing the Polo R-Line reviews and stuff, and it works in this car. It's not that much of a big car, like I mentioned. It's not all too heavy, so yeah, it can easily get up to momentum. It's easy to pull some overtakes and all that jazz. But it's just weird that with the pre-facelift you were spoiled for choice, and you also had the choice of the 1.5 liter, which has significantly more power, and at the moment you can't get that on the facelift. Like I said, maybe they'll reintroduce some more engine choices in future. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't think I have anything more to add about the T-Cross. It is a great all-rounder, so as to say. It offers amazing practicality. The size as well is quite charming, and yeah, it is a great car to live with on a day-to-day basis. I feel like the looks are quite good. It's a charming vehicle, very cute to an extent as well, and I've never really heard anyone complain about how the T-Cross looks. So yeah, I think it's a great looking car inside out. Offers some good features. You do have some good tech in here. You can load it out, although the price might get too high if you wild out on the options, but yeah, such is life. And that is where I'll conclude it with the T-Cross review. I do hope you guys enjoyed this full review of the facelifted T-Cross, and until next time, that's cheers from me.